something. Okay, I think it is streaming. So this is my first live stream. I'm trying to make sure the tools are properly set up. The sound is okay or no?
No.
Okay, maybe there's no sound. I'm with Brendan here, who is helping me on setting up my first stream, so maybe the sound is okay.
Yeah, the sound is okay.
Okay, perfect. So I'm with Brendan here, who is the author of Camerada, which, if you didn't try it yet, is a tool to discover cameras on your network. It's on GitHub. It's really nice. You should try it. And tonight I'd like to try starting to build a little client tool for it. And I've been wanting to try ReasonML for quite some time, so I will start to build the foundation for this app. So I was just making sure that the tools are properly set up on my laptop, because actually I started the app on another laptop, and I did not reinstall everything on this one. So basically what I have here is an app that I bootstrapped with Yarn Create. Basically I created a bootstrap ReasonML application with a built-in bootstrapper, basically. So I can just do yarn start and it will start my application, but it's already running on this tab, so I can just do yarn start and it will start my application, and it will automatically rebuild if I change the code. It will automatically build the ReasonML code, bundle everything for me. So here if I say coming soon, like this, it automatically updates. It's really fast. That's very nice. So here I can see that my extension is properly installed because I have this little stuff here that I would like to disable. I disabled them last time on my other laptop. I'm not sure the name of it. I think it's lenses or something like this. Yes, code lens. I would like to disable this because that's a bit too much to me, because I don't know exactly what all this means, like the types. They are a little bit too much information for me right now, so I just prefer to work without them. Okay, so let's start. What we want is to connect to WebSocket Server. So basically the app is going to communicate with Camerada using a WebSocket Server. So for now it's not 100, it's like a work in progress on the backend side. The tool is not fully made, but we will basically program this in parallel. So I will start the GUI while Brendan is building the server on his side. So for now we will just connect to a dummy WebSocket server, and we will just try to make some, to actually connect to the server, send some messages, receive it, make sure that we are actually interacting with it properly. So I'm really new to ReasonML, so I'm gonna be learning with you guys. So if you have comments or suggestions, or if you want to answer some of my questions, feel free. Okay, I will hear myself. That's gonna be shitty. Can you please turn it? Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to follow if I'm stuck, basically, and some people are here and I'm not alone, and if you want to help me, feel free to do so. So let's dive right in. First, how to connect to a WebSocket server. I guess that I need to do this on the component mount of my... so this is the main component of my application. So the structure of my app for now is very basic. In the index, I just have render to elements on the index div, and the main window component. The main window component is here. It's called main window because in the end the app is gonna be bundled into an Electron app, so this is gonna be like an actual desktop window, so that's why I named it like this. So I guess there is some sort of component did mount lifecycle hook that I can add there to like connect to my WebSocket server and launch. So I will just basically go to Reason React doc and gonna check about the life cycles. So maybe I can just look for life cycles. Yeah, perfect. So is there an example? Did update. Okay, so I guess I can just do did mount like this. So here I can probably do something like this. A function that takes nothing and that just does js.log hello. So what did I do wrong already? Okay, I'm missing this. Okay, so I have an auto format set up with the base extension, which is really nice. So basically, as soon as it formats, I guess the syntax is correct. Here it tells me that something is wrong. That's probably with a -L. And it's supposed to return nothing, so I can just do this, I guess. No, I have to return nothing. Actually, can I do this? Nope. So okay, I have my first experience like fighting with the compiler. So what does it expect? It expects itself, and it should return update state. Okay, so if I don't want to update anything, I think there is something like React no update to tell it that I don't want to update anything. Like reason React no update invalid token. I should probably add. Okay, so it's building. Does it work right now? Cool. So I managed to set up my component did mount hook. So this is the place where I'm gonna try to connect to the WebSocket. Okay, so for connecting to WebSocket, I looked if there are like some bucket scripts already, some bucket script bindings to WebSocket, but I didn't find any. What I found is a kind of work in progress here, I think. Yeah, this work in progress. So I'm gonna try to use this and update it, like change it to what I actually need, because this is just for working on binary messages and I mostly work only with text messages. I'm gonna try to parse some JSON and display the result. So I never done that before, so that's gonna be a bit tricky, but I'm gonna try that. So first, how should I drop that into my project? Let's try to create a new WebSocket file, and it's gonna have this. So it doesn't know array buffer. Where is that supposed to come from? All these things. So message token. Okay, so where is that supposed to come from? Probably it's supposed to come from this. I guess the array buffer is from the Web API package. Because as far as I know, the Web API is like a collection of bindings for the browser APIs. Okay, so it's called BS Web API, but the repository is Web API incubators. Okay, so I'm gonna drop that in. So I guess what I'm looking for is inside here. Is it somewhere? Like this, in this repository somewhere. Okay, I'm not sure actually if the binding to the array buffer is in there. Let's try to figure out where this is. Oh, actually maybe I don't care for now. What if I just say that this is a Okay, let's say, because I'm not sure what these types come from, so I figure I'm just gonna figure this out later in the future. So for now I'm just gonna use this. This says that it's like of some type, of some parameterized type. I'm not sure this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try with this. And here I'm just gonna ignore this for now, and we will see. So this binding, what it does, it allows me to create WebSockets. It sets the binary type, but this I don't care because I will not use the binary type. It allows me to set up an OnMessage handler that will send me the message event. Okay, so what I will do is just try like this. I don't care about this, and I'm gonna right away here try to connect to my WebSocket. So I'm gonna do WebSocket that should I do already WebSocket again? This is weird. And then I can, okay, this is a bit weird. Maybe this shouldn't be in a dedicated module because I'm already in the WebSocket file. So I'm just gonna do this, create WebSocket, and it takes the URL, so I'm just connect for now to localhost. Let's say it's UAT. And that's it. And I'm gonna bind this to let unused variable. Okay, so now what I can do is I can set an OnMessage on open already on, so WebSocket that on open. So it takes as parameter the WebSocket and the callback. Alright, so I give it function that takes units. Okay, that doesn't take any parameters. So let's do that. Does it build? It does. Nope. Because I always forget this. Okay. Okay, it's still not building. Invalid token. Put parentheses around this. So my OnMessage, it takes, no, on open, it takes a WebSocket, a callback, and it returns nothing. So I guess I should be able to do that, right? On open on my WebSocket, and I give it a callback. Maybe that's not, okay, that's just fun. Yeah. As I said, this is the first time I use this, so here I'm going to just do JS log open. It builds, and if I go to there, I can see that it tries to connect. That's cool. And I'm gonna set up a fake WebSocket server, so I'm just gonna use WS cat. This is a little command line tool that allows you to connect to WebSocket server or to just have a dummy WebSocket server. Like, it's basically like NC but for WebSockets. Okay, so I can do this, and if I refresh, my connection is opened. Cool. Client connected. Okay. So now I'm gonna try to let's try to send a message. Send, it takes something, whatever, and sends it. So actually I think I can, and it's a pipe, so basically what this means is that I can do this and pipe the result and pipe so WebSocket.send hello, and it should send hello, right? Let's see what happens. So this I will do it on open up here. So let's try to say hello as soon as somebody connects, as the socket is opened. Hello, message received. Well, it's easier than I thought. It's gonna be easy, right? Okay, so I can already send messages to the WebSocket, and I guess I can set up the brackets are automatically removed, which is a bit annoying because you have to add it again as soon as you want to add something. So if I say WebSocket.onMessage this, and I give it so message t. Okay, this is a type, whatever. Okay, I will just receive a message event, and then I will have to figure out how to use this. So I will have a function, and here I'm receiving the event, and I'm just logging it because this accepts any type. But this event right now I cannot do anything about it because all the methods I have on it is I have a way to retrieve data, but it is a type that I don't know yet. So I'm gonna just assume that I don't know nothing about this event. But JS log can still just do a console log on it, so that's gonna be fine. Let's refresh. Hello world, and it's logging the events. All right, world as data. Okay, so basically I can just assume that data is a string. Let's assume that data is a string, and so here I'll replace this by string, and I will also send only strings. That's gonna make things simple for now. And the onMessage, it could already, yeah. So this was a helper function that will basically retrieve the data and return array buffer. But here, let's say that I will receive the event as is. Oh yeah, no, let's say that I have onMessage. Also, I'm still gonna have a helper. I'm still gonna have a helper that's gonna retrieve the data as a string, and so the onMessage returns the string directly. That's gonna be easier. So it gets the event, it retrieves the string about it, and it calls the callback with it, like this. So here, my onMessage retrieves the string. Nice. So that's not bad. Okay, okay, what's happening right now? What did I do wrong? WebSocket is not a constructor. Okay, I broke something. Is it this that broke something? When I add this, it breaks. Okay. Actually, this felt a bit weird. To me, it felt a bit weird to override this onMessage. What does the compiler say about it? Basically, it's building well, but I have a runtime error. This is interesting. This is very interesting what's happening right there, because this line here, it's basically breaking my WebSockets module. So I uncomment it. It tells me that WebSocket is not a constructor. So how is that possible? What if I js.log OnMessage. What is this? Because what we see here is a runtime error. So this is create React app that shows me this big, beautiful way of displaying my error, which is basically this error. So this means that I can still log things at the beginning of my application, because this error only happens when my component mounts. So I will try to understand what happens with some console logs. So it's a function, and I'm gonna go to WebSocket. Okay, let's see what is the output of my. Oh, it just basically it removes everything. Oh yeah, actually the external declaration probably are invisible most of the time. But how WebSocket is not a constructor, because I mean WebSocket still exists. WebSocket. But here somehow, probably because I exported. Okay, I think I see. Because I added a binding to this, so the name WebSocket is probably now used by my WebSocket module. So it's like, I think I understand what's happening right there. That's probably, so to understand what's happening, I will go here to the lib.js, and here is the code that's output by my by the builder. So basically the reason code is compiled to this JS. So if I remove this line here that causes troubles, my WebSocket.js is this message event equals a module, and it exports it. Okay, and if I add this, no, there is no WebSocket here, so I still don't understand how we can shadow. So let's see how it compiles this. WebSocket is this, and if there's, okay, this is what I thought, exactly what I thought. So here, the WebSocket name is not bound to anything, so it's like it still uses the global WebSocket thing. So this is the DOM WebSockets. But as soon as I actually export something here, so this OnMessage function here, it belongs now to my WebSocket module. So when I use it here, it has to import it to require it from my WebSocket, and by convention, I guess it names it like my file, which is WebSocket. So here I'm creating a new variable with the same name as the WebSocket API, which means here this is not the actual WebSocket that I want to create. This is my module, which is not a constructor, which leads to my bug here. So that's interesting. I see different ways to fix this. I see one obvious way to fix it is like to name my file WebSocket RE, for example, which means that my module is named like this now, and if I want to use it, I now need to use it like this, and it should work. So basically what I've done, I just renamed it, and it's not named WebSocket, so it's not shadowing the original WebSocket. But I think it's a bit sad that I just cannot use the name WebSocket like this. I'm wondering if I could not do something like, you know, here I could say that instead of just using the name WebSocket, I could say that I want to use document WebSocket or the actual WebSocket from the DOM. I think I can do that with something like this. So I'm really new to this syntax also. I've read about it just yesterday and read some code about it to try to understand what all this does. So as far as I know, these are some kind of magic flags that you add, so the compiler can understand that it's gonna basically it's gonna create a link between your ReasonML functions and the JavaScript code. So here we are saying that create WebSocket should bind to the WebSocket name on JavaScript. And here you are seeing that this is a constructor. So basically I would like to say that this is a constructor that is present in a specific module in document, not module but namespace. I think there is something like es.scope. What if I say this, for example? Okay, so that's exactly what I wanted, but it doesn't work. So what is document WebSocket doesn't exist? Okay. It exists on the window object. So what if I do window like this? Okay, cool. So that means that I can name my file WebSocket again. And it works. Does it? So I think it doesn't like that I just renamed the file. Let's start the process again. Okay. No, can't resolve. Okay, yeah, obviously I need to rename. Here it's not WebSocket, but it's just WebSocket. Cool. So I don't know if this is something that I should do. I guess probably not. But I don't like the fact that I cannot just use the WebSocket name like this. This is a global thing, so yeah, I'm just gonna add the window dot so I can use whatever name I want. I will not conflict with the global names on the web API. If that's not something that should be done, don't hesitate to tell me about it. This is really okay. Keyword is fun. Okay, makes sense when you define a concrete function, but I should take it in actual. That this is what I just discovered. I should have actually checked out the chat way earlier, because this would have been way faster to solve. Yeah, that's I finished by figuring this out myself. That's not been faster. Thanks for helping. Thanks. Finally. Oh, this is a weird emoji. I don't know about the window thing, so yeah, feel free to tell me what you think about this. Okay, so I already have a WebSocket opened, and I can already send message and receive message. So there are two things that I think I could try. I could already start like updating my UI depending on WebSocket messages, and then I will go on something that looks a bit way harder to me, is like unserializing JSON results. This, like, I've looked at some code and it looks way harder than what you would think. So it's gonna be fun to unserialize JSON, I think, but I don't want to do this right now. I will keep this for the end if we have time. So I'm gonna just try to update my UI depending on what I receive. So because BS code, yeah, this is what I did, right? Yeah. So as I said, the Camera app is not, the WebSocket server is not done yet, so I'm just gonna, for the purpose of this session, I'm just gonna build a dummy, like, kind of chat app that just shows you the message. So yeah, I can just basically show everything that I received on the socket, and everything that I type will be added. I will have a list of, so the state of my app will just be a list of messages, and I will just display them for now, so I can already play around with the updating of the states and things like this. So I guess I need to have a stateful component. Stateful component, isn't that awesome? And so right now I have a stateless component, so I cannot add states to it. So I will do stateful. And why is it like this? What is it telling me? Okay, it's not, because I think this is, like, in the tutorials I was saying that I need to define my state type just before I declare this. So probably if I declare the state type here, it will be more happy. So let's go copy pasting some code. So reason React up state action and reducer. How do I do that? Okay, looks easy. Initial state. Okay, so here my state, I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna have a list of strings. So messages is gonna be a list, I don't know, string like this. And so initial state is gonna be a function that takes nothing and returns an empty list, just like in JavaScript. Easy. And render doesn't do anything. Okay. So I guess this should already build, shouldn't it? But it tells me that there is an issue with this, which is quite strange. Oh, that's not stateful component that I want, it's reducer component. Okay, I guess this stateful component is something more advanced. I didn't read about it. So that was actually reducer components because I'm gonna update my states using a reducer, which is like a concept from Redux. But it's still, no, actually this is just a warning from, I don't know how to remove these warnings, by the way. This is a warning from this file, and my editor, as soon as I open these files, it tells me this warning, and I cannot, I mean, it's in node modules, I don't care about it. I cannot tell it that I don't care about it. I can like restart my editor, but anyway. So I have some states, and I'm gonna, as soon as I receive a message, so here in my OnMessage events, let's try to update my state. So here, this is self, this is cool. So I'm gonna use self to update my state. How do I do that already? Actions and reducer. So this is in React.js, but here I need to define some actions. Yeah, that's it. To define some action, and I will call reduce with a function that returns an action. So let's define my action type. Looks like I have some supporters there. Okay, action is gonna be new message, and it takes a string. And here I don't remember exactly how this works. Like, what does reduce takes as an action, as parameters? I'm gonna see that as soon as I type it. Actually, I'm gonna use the self.reduce. I think I need to do like reason React reduce. Okay. I'm gonna use this to retrieve the reduce function. So I think I can do something like this. I'm not very confident with the syntax yet, so is this gonna work somehow? And here I should be able to, like, what is the return value, the return of reduce, because I don't want it to payload action and returns callback. Okay, so this returns a function that then will be called. Okay. And what if I don't care about this? Because I want to just return a unit, and this is gonna return something probably. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but let's try something. Reduce. So actually what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna give it reduce directly, I think. and okay, yeah, and I give it something like fun message, and it will return a new message invalid token. Syntax is not correct. Okay, here's okay. I forgot a semicolon. It's a mistake, but that's not it. Okay, so here it builds, and here invalid token. Okay, so all you have to tell me, so is someone aware of that? Okay, no, nobody. So the compiler is telling me there's been an error running reason f-empty parser on a file, but it doesn't tell me exactly where the error is, right? Line 25 character, but line 25 is there. Character 37. What is the character 37? It's here. So the radius here doesn't like this. Why not? Let's say I don't need this anymore. Let's go back to here. Close this also. Okay, it probably needs some parentheses here and here. Yay, parentheses everywhere. Okay, it actually builds. I was not expecting it to build like this. It returns, so it takes an action and it probably returns nothing actually, which is why it's working. So let's look at the type of this. Reduce, payload, action. And it's not returning units. I mean, I don't know how this works, but okay. So actually, I should already have some. My state should already receive something. So if I implement a reducer, so let's say we'll have the did mount first, and then we'll have the initial state, the reducer, fun action. So the reducer is a function that takes as parameter the last action, the last state, and returns the new state. So what I'm gonna do here is a switch on my action. Autocompletion is really cool. And if I receive a new message with message, I'm gonna append to my, I don't know if this is a list or an array actually, because okay, yeah, this is a list, yeah. So to append to my list, I think I can just say state dot messages. No, what is state? State is not my state. Should be, I should be able to do state dot messages. Message, and here I do this. It's not valid. Okay, action. I probably missed some parentheses once again. No, not this time. What am I missing here? A body to this. Let's say I just return the same state. What is it? What is wrong with this? Reducer. Is this coming from here? It is. Parent is coming from this function. If I just return state, new state. Oh, just the comma. Is it just complaining for the comma? Probably yes. just for the fun. Okay, cool. So now I have a type error. Type able explain explicit of type update AV action. Okay, so it wants I don't need to return the new state, but something that's like a call to React reason React update with the, so actually here I guess it accepts a kind of a variant with either an update, like this is this type here, like an update or no update. So I'm gonna say reason React update. So here let's say the state doesn't change. This is valid, great. And I'm gonna say that my new state is messages message state.messages. There's no auto-completion on this, so I'm wondering if this is properly typed, but okay, this is building. And can I say this? So if I have other props in my state in the future, I will not like remove everything. Can I do? Should I do it at the beginning maybe? No, this is an invalid syntax. Okay, I couldn't do this. Okay, no. I introduced another problem. Why did I just do? It was working. It's working, right? Here it doesn't build. Here it builds. Okay, so can I just say states? Okay, because there are no other fields, I don't have to. Okay, I guess if I add fields here, it will tell me that I added fields, so I will have to spread them. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is safe to not add it yet. Like, let's say I have a count, which is an int. It will tell me everywhere. Yeah, some fields are missing, but it doesn't tell me anything in the initial state, which is a bit weird. Actually, my initial state is returning a list, whereas it should be why the initial state function is working. This is really strange. I just realized that this should not work because this is returning an empty list.
It has some messages in the
okay. Thanks for telling me.
No problem.
Line 25, you could define okay is no action as one of your actions need to wrap in. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was wondering. Empty list unifies with any type, so no error. Okay, that's why does an empty list is okay for any type. I mean, that feels weird. I guess this would be, I mean, even if that works, this looks a bit cleaner, right? Because I had an empty list and my state contains messages, so yeah. So somehow in ReasonML, the empty list unifies with any type, which means, yeah, I guess it means that you can give an empty list to anything. Yeah, that's fine. List A, it's polymorphic. Okay. Oh. Okay. I guess I will understand this better with more experience with the language. That right now that sounds a bit weird, but that doesn't prevent me from building things with this. So let's pretend I understand why this works like this, and I will probably need to read more about the OCaml type system to properly understand this. So I have my new messages, and indeed, if I don't know, do I need a no action? I'm not sure about this. Like, I guess this should never be called with something else. with an action. So yeah, let's just try like this. So hopefully right now my message is added to my list. So let's try to render my list of messages. So I will remove this and I will try to render my messages list. So for that, what I'm gonna do is I think that there is something like reason react array to elements, and here I will give it an array of elements. So for this I need to array to lists. Where is array to lists? List to array or array of lists? Because basically I'm gonna create an array of elements from my list of strings. So let's copy paste some code. You know what? I'm just gonna go to what's the name of this? It's like an example, ReasonML example. It's I think it's named Hacker News. Where can I find this? In the guide. I think I saw that. Examples. This is not what I was expecting. There is a like Reason Hacker News, which is I think a good example project with like it's fetching some JSON from an API, it's displaying the comment list. So I definitely recommend reading at this to like learn the basics. So I'm just gonna read that again to check how they do this. So array to element, but they are not. So here they have a list, or they don't have a list. So let's say OCaml list to array. How do I do this? Okay, lists to list of list. Okay, so that's actually array of lists, and here I will map my list of messages. So I will do list dot map. So I will do a pipe because I like the pipe syntax. So I will do list dot map. So what are the parameters of this? So first the function, then the list, and I have the result. Okay, so the function will be fun. So I will receive my message, and I will return a React element. So we'll do a basic UL, UL list. And I will say li, and here I will display my message. So I think in utils I have something text to display. So this is a little util, because in React, in ReasonML, to display a string you need to do this type conversion, string to elements. So this should be correct, but to avoid typing all this, I just have this little helper here. I will give it my self state messages. I don't know why the autocompletion doesn't work on this. And I will basically pipe all this to so I'll transform this into an array, and I will transform this into a reason react array to elements. And it's still not building. I still have a syntax error, which is the syntax errors in ReasonML. I think that's the worst error that you can have, because it just tells you it doesn't tell you exactly what the error is, which is quite frustrating.
It always shows the last line?
Yeah, in the editor it just tells me here, which is broken.
Maybe it's just your browser or editor.
The editor doesn't read it properly, for sure. So it's 39 characters 6. 29 character 6. What the fuck? Okay, this it should probably not like this. Just is that it? No, it would be too easy. Where is my syntax? Needs parents around code in JSX, I think. You mean around, oh, probably like this? No. I can try to add parents everywhere. What about it? There is some map stuff here. Array to element. So what? Let's try to do something simple. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, already the syntax. Okay, I need a parenthesis around all this stuff. Okay, cool. I need parentheses around all of this stuff, and the formatter formatted everything pretty nicely, so I like this. And I have lots of unused variables. Now it's linting list.ml, so I have this another warning that doesn't comes from my code. Definitely need a way to set up the linter so it doesn't tell me warnings from third-party code. Okay, so let's try to run this. Okay, let's try to populate my state with some messages first. Hello world. And they already appear here, so if they need a key, I think there is a map index or something like this. Can I go here and see what I have? Map here, that gives me an index. I think I will have an index if I say map I. Yeah, I will have index, and I can say that here the key is string of int, so I give a key to my element, and I don't have the warning anymore, and I can say hi, and it works. Ooh. So I managed to have to open a connection to WebSocket and display the messages. That's pretty cool. There are two things I could do now. Either I could like set up a little input text and like type answers to my server. So you see I can already like do this.
Yeah, it would be cool to do to answer.
So either I had a field here to answer, or I start doing the JSON thing. But adding a field, I guess, is something that I should do anyway, because we're gonna have forms at some point in the app. So let's try to build a small basic form, which will not be that easy, I think.
I don't know.
And maybe at some point I'm gonna try to clean up the code. The code is gonna grow and grow and become very, very strange.
So like this file will be your like the whole view at the beginning when you launch the app. Like right now, what you have, it can only be in this file if you want it to be on the same.
No, I can easily put stuff in other files. It's really easy to put stuff in other files. These are just functions, so I can just take the functions and put them out. I think it's quite easy. I could like move my type definition in another file, and then I could like split everything. But the way you split thing in React is that you split by component. So if I don't want to build one giant component and to split all the functions around, I want to split stuff by component. So basically the main view will just be the main layout with, let's say, the top bar and the form, and the top bar will be a component itself. Then I will have another component for the status, another component for the start button. Like everything will be different components in different files. So right now what I could do, for example, is have a dedicated component just to display the list of messages, and another component to like type the answers. So I can do that. I can do what I can do is already like do the input in this component, and then I can extract it to another one so it doesn't become too big. So let's do that. So I will once again look at these examples here. Actually, I guess we can write answers in this app. I didn't try the actual app, I have to admit. But I guess you cannot answer. Can you answer on this app? But there is no form, so I cannot use this as an example for creating a form.
Maybe there is a form when you log in.
No, this is just a very basic example that shows you the last Reddit, and you can click on it to have the comments. Click here to have the comments, and you can like unfold the comments, but you cannot answer.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm gonna try to do something without copy pasting this time. I mean, I will try to build an input and to bind on these events to retrieve the events. Is there something about input or form? Okay, let's try something. So what if I add an input of type text, what did I do? Invalid token once again. I cannot add an input here. Oh, because type is a reserved keyword, so I need to add this here. Okay, so I have an input. Okay, the style is not very good. I think I have something, a CSS file already here. I removed the margins. Let's add them back. Okay, so this is not going to be a controlled input. I'm just going to bind the enter, the key press event, and on enter I will try to empty it. I'm not sure how I will do that actually. And then I will send a message. So how am I gonna get the event? So I guess I can say on key down equals we'll do need a function that basically retrieves the event and then do something about it. So how should I do that? Event here. Okay, this looks cool. Are there an example here? Nope. So this is the way I'm gonna retrieve the values, but basically what I would like here is to call a function that will retrieve my event and check the key, like somehow retrieve the key code and check if it's like enter. Can I just inline something here? Okay, that's it. So what is this? So this is my JS event, I guess. Okay, and I would like to retrieve. Okay, this is the way to retrieve the value. What if I would want to retrieve the key code? Reason event key code. So as you can see right now, the state of the ReasonML community is quite young, so if you're just looking on Google for things, most of the time it doesn't work, but I still had some hope, so I tried ReasonML old. This is an old documentation, but maybe there are still some things that can be relevant to me. Let's try, okay, on click, React Reason Event Unit. Yeah, this is the same thing that I had on the other doc. So basically it's telling me that I should use React event. So this is form target, but what if I want to not the target, but what I want is the synthetic keyboard event. I want the key. Okay, maybe I can just use the key actually. So I can do that. So let's try. So key at key equal. So what do we have here? Keyboard. Oh, that's cool. Key. Easy. E. That's it. So here, oh, it automatically added this. That's cool. So if I js log key, what is this? Oh, cool.
No, that was quick.
Yep, actually this, so this basically is, there are already some helpers to retrieve values from events. So this is an event, and I used the React event library module to say that I want to retrieve the key value from my event. So here what I can do is, so what I want to do is dispatch, like I want to do a if else, but that will be very like, I know how to do this in a very imperative way, but I don't really like this. But in an imperative way, what you would do is that if key equals like, can I say enter, or key, how do I name the keys? What is this type? Is it a string? Oh, it's a string. So I can say if this is equal to enter, then I would like empty my field, and otherwise I will just do nothing. It's not building already. But it does it.
Still have an invalid token.
Maybe I need this. Oops. Oh. Okay, so here it works. So here I could like do side effects. I could say that, I guess I could empty the field quite easily by saying that from this I can like in the event here that the target property is the input field, so I can do React event var.form.target. This gives me the.
Should we rename the E to event also?
Yeah, it's true. So if I do this, actually if I copy paste this, I can access the value. So like this I can access the value. I'm not sure actually I can set the value, because if I want to empty the field, I need to set the value, but maybe I can do this by just, so if I do this, this should allow me to log the event value, like this. What is it complaining about? Oh, because here I'm using it as a key event. So here it knows that, like, if I basically in OCaml it's like there is like a polymorphism. So at first it doesn't know what type is events, but as soon as you're gonna use it, it's gonna infer its type from how you use it. So here I use it to retrieve. I use it as a keyboard event. So it assumes it's a keyboard event. So here, if I use it as a form event, it's gonna tell me that I'm giving a keyboard event to a form event. So is there a target value in keyboard? Because I really want the target. There's no target. There is? Okay, there is. Just no auto-completion. So this should actually point me to the... Okay, if I type enter, it tells me the value, which is nice. And the big question is, can I set the value of a JS object? Like, this sounds so weird, but what if I do this? Yeah, this is not even a valid syntax. So how to set a value of a JS object? Nobody. There are still 5 people watching the stream. I don't know who's there, but I mean, I don't
see 6 people.
Yeah, that's cool. But nobody knows how to set JS objects property in ReasonML object. Okay, why not? Creation, tips and tricks. Access field always come with JST compared to actual JS object. Actually, I don't want to set the value. I want to... There should be a function to call on this target to tell that I want to set the value. I mean, there is no set value. DOM element. So here I have a DOM element. So on the DOM element, I should probably be able to set the value, no? Because anyway, this is a very imperative way. I guess the cleanest way to do it would be to have a controlled input, which means that I will pass down the value here. Yeah, let's do that. That's gonna be way cleaner. So here I was trying to go for the like imperative way, where if I type enter, I set the value to empty and then I trigger my action. But that's not how you would do in a state. It's not very declarative. If I want to do this in a cleaner way, what I want to do actually is that I want to... So I will just comment all this for now. Okay, let's remove this for now. And I'm gonna say that value is equal to... Now I'm gonna add something to my state. And I have messages and input value, which is a string. So basically this is gonna be part of my state now. And when I type, I'm gonna need to update my state. So I'm gonna say state.input value, and here I need to update everywhere. Input value is an empty string, and here, so can I spread the state here now? Cool. And down value state, self state. Okay, so now what should happen is that I should not be able to type anymore, because like I'm telling React that the value of this input is empty, always empty. So if I type something, it will just ignore it, because now I need to update this value to update the content of my input. So I can add again my own key down, but this time I will directly, so it will probably look a bit more like what was there. Okay, I will call self-reduce, and this will return either, depending on the pressed key, to return an action and what to do. Okay, so self.reduce. Now we define a function under input under key press down. And handle key down is going to be defined just there. Let handle key down equal from events. It's going to return something. Syntax is valid or not. So I should return an action. Let's say that for now we'll just do this. So I'm just gonna try to have something that compiles. Right now it doesn't, because I need parentheses. Okay, so it compiles. So this is an event, and I'm not gonna return a new message. I'm gonna return, depending. So for now, let's say I'm just gonna update the value of my state. So I'm gonna say, so the action is gonna be should I update the string here? So let's say key down. So first let's retrieve the value that has been entered. So that was in events. So I'm retrieving the keyboard. Okay, let's remove all this. Basically I just wanted this name. Keyboard key. I'm not sure this is gonna be correct because I was about to like manually concatenate the string, but it's gonna be shitty. How would I do that in React to control an input element? If I retrieve the value, will it give me the new value actually? I'm not sure about this. So if I say let value equal this, it doesn't build. Why is that? Okay, so it tells me that the type of this is not correct because the event that he's receiving is not what he expects, whereas this is kind of the same thing, right? Self-reduce, it takes an event, it takes a function that takes an event and does nothing about it but just returns this. What is it saying? The error is more readable in there. This is React event form T, okay, but now until the keyboard T. Okay, so it's telling me that reduce returns a form event, with this, okay, it tells me that it expects a keyboard event probably because it knows that onKeyDown returns a keyboard event. So let's say that we want a keyboard event here, and not a form event. Okay, now it builds. So I can log the value, and the question is, will the value be updated here even if it's controlled? I fear not. No, the value is empty. How should I retrieve the value of my input to update it when someone types something? I don't remember how we used to do that even in React in JS. You want to know that, oh, you use the onChange, you don't use the onKeyDown and dump. You use the onChange parameter callback and not the onKeyDown. Is it? I'm not sure actually. I think you use the onChange, and in the onChange event you have the new value probably. Let's try that. Handle input change, and here I should have a form. So that's probably not okay. Now I have the new value. Okay, that's cool. So I will have to add another check for the enter, but another listener, but just to update the value, I can just retrieve the value here, and instead of new message, I will say, I will define a new action, new input changed with value, input changed without the D. It takes a string, and now it's telling us here that we need to update this switch to handle the new case. So input change new val, and we're gonna return a new state with the new input value to new val. Okay, so now hopefully I should be able to, yes, cool. I'm able to update my field again, and what's new here is that now this string is in the state of my component, which means that I can, if I type enter, I can empty it without doing some, I just have to, like, let's say that when I receive a new message, the input is updated also. So let's say that when I receive a new message, the input value changes to like an auto response, like cool bro, cool story bro. So here that means that every time I receive a message, I autofill an answer. I had lunch today, and you are ready to answer cool story bro.
Okay.
So this looks not very useful, but it is actually, because it will allow me to empty the field by just setting the value in the state.
Cool.
So let's do that, and I think it's gonna be all for tonight's session, and next time I'm gonna see how to serialize from JSON. This is gonna be for next time. Right now, we're just gonna add a new onKeyDown, which is gonna do this self.reduce, and actually we're gonna have to trigger side effects. I'm not sure how we're gonna do this. Handle submit, actually let's call this handle submit. Let handle submit e. Oh, it's not submit, it's handle keyDown. Handle keyDown. And with that, we're gonna retrieve the key. Let key equal React. Let's copy paste this. No, actually just this. Keyboard key from the event, and if the key is equal to enter. So here, so if that's the case, we will have a new action that say send message, and in the case I don't need to do anything, here I guess I can, if there's no else, it's valid. No, I need the else, right? Here if I do this, is it valid? No. And with an else, still invalid. Okay. Okay, I need the parentheses around the if, right? Okay, so this syntax is valid, which is weird to me because I don't understand why I'm able to return this as an action, whereas I'm supposed to return an actual action. So I'm wondering if I need to have like a no action in the case the key is not entered. That sounds a bit weird, but that sounds also weird to return units there. So let's just return send message in this case. And okay, so here it's telling me that I cannot return unit because I need to return an action, which is weird because I don't want to return an action here. The reduce function expects an action, so that means that that feels weird to use this like this. Like in some case I want to dispatch an action, in some case I don't. So I'm not sure I should use reduce right away here. Maybe I should call handle key down right away, and this it should either send the message or do nothing. And to send the message, we need to do self.reduce. I'm not sure if this is cleaner or not, but this, otherwise it feels weird to me. So here what I'm doing is that I'm calling self-reduce, which returns a function, and then I'm calling the function. So I don't have to declare a no action that will have to dispatch in this case. So anyway, in case this happen, so send message, what I should do is empty my input. This is easy. So let's already make sure this works. Hey, okay. And now the big question is, how am I gonna send a message here? So I need to perform a side effect. I don't know how I'm supposed to do side effects here. Side effects. Oh, there is something for this. Okay, no state update, but trigger a side effect. Okay, cool, easy. So I just need to return this. So we just have 3 watching, so we lost most people on the stream, but that's fine. That's gonna still be available. It's always been 1 hour and a half, so yeah. I figure this is not really interesting. If you're joining just right now, which is probably not the case because we have less people, but anyway, I'm almost done with this. Now I just need to, actually I want an update with side effects, because I'm gonna update the state to empty the field, and I'm gonna trigger a side effect because I want to send a message to the WebSocket. So here the new state, and then the func that's gonna take nothing and do nothing. This works? No, it needs to take self. Oh yeah, this is gonna be useful because here I need a way to access my WebSocket. So I was wondering where I should put it. I guess it should be in my state. It feels a bit weird to have the WebSocket in my state, but otherwise I'm not sure where it should be. So let's put it in the state as soon as we open, as it's opened. So let's say that I will have a WebSocket here. That's going to be a WebSocket.t. But the initial value is gonna be, I don't know. It's gonna be an optional WebSocket, because when you actually at the very beginning the WebSocket is not set, so we're gonna have to have an optional WebSocket. Which one is this? Where is the error? So here the syntax is okay, but here it's not okay. Yes, here it's okay. Okay, I don't know what was wrong before. Oh, but there was probably this that was not done yet. That was the issue. So here it's gonna be none. Okay, cool. And when my WebSocket is opened, I'm gonna reduce to set my WebSocket before. So I'm not gonna send this message. I don't want to do this. All I want to do is reduce to set. So I will have an action WebSocket opened with the WebSocket. See, here I will what happened? Okay, on open here I will self.reduce from self.reduce function that takes nothing, not return the WebSocket open with my WebSocket, and I'm gonna call it right away. Syntax is invalid because here I need to close the parentheses. Okay, so now here, as soon as my WebSocket is opened, I'm gonna set it into my state. So I don't need a self here because I'm okay like this. Maybe I can just do self.reduce like this. But why did I removed the code that used to set the message? I don't know why this disappeared. I want to keep this. Let's go back there, and I'm gonna self-reduce. Like this, and this. Nope. syntax error, what did I do? Okay, here there is an issue, obviously, like this, and like this. Okay, and reduce is self.reduce. Okay, have it. So when the socket is opened, I already dispatched an action to say that it's open and store it in my state. I could, by the way, I could probably display a little connection indicator, but at least I have it in my state. And I already set the onMessage. I keep this to set the onMessage handler to send an action as soon as I receive a message. And now here I can handle my new action. This is weird how it reacts, isn't it? Okay. WebSocket WS opened with my WebSocket, and it's gonna update my state to set the WebSocket to some WebSocket, because this is an option, so I need to wrap it into the sum like this. And now here I can switch on my state.WebSocket, and if I have no WebSocket, some WebSocket, I can send a message now just here. So just log that I have it, and none, nothing. Invalid token. This is the theme of tonight's live stream. It's invalid token everywhere, always, all the time.
Can't you use the terminal to see exactly where the problem is?
Usually, most of the time, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like here, I'm just missing a parenthesis. Yeah, usually you can figure it out by yourself. Okay, it says that I'm not using self because state is, where is this coming from? I need, oh, I already have the state here, but that's probably not a good idea to use it. I think that's cleaner to use it from here, in case this is called later in time. I'm sure like this that I have the latest version of the state. So here, this is called when I send a message. So if I do this, it logs my WebSocket and it empties the message. That's cool. I can just send my message now by doing WebSocket.send and the message that is in my state, but my state is already updated, so I will use the state. Can I do, I'm pretty sure that I can bind something here that I will then use, like if I do this, let message to send equals state.input value. Basically what I want is to save the message before the state is actually updated, because it's gonna be removed. So hopefully this is gonna be executed before the state is updated, so I can actually send the message. And here I can do send WebSocket. I think it works like this. This one is a pipe, like this. Is it gonna work? The suspense is total. Hey, cool, sending the message. So now what I want to do is just display the message that I sent, and it's gonna be, oh, so how can I add this to the message at the same time? I'm just gonna add it there. That's gonna be easy. So this is gonna be kind of optimistic update. I'm gonna add the message even though it's not actually sent. If there's no WebSocket, it's gonna be added to the list of messages even though it's not actually sent. But I mean, at this time, who cares? Message is gonna be state that input value. Oh, actually I can retrieve the input value. Yeah, actually I can read the input value here. That's gonna be cleaner maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna read the input value. I think I'm gonna have a syntax error once again, but let's cross fingers. Yeah, hopefully I broke, obviously I broke everything, but messages is gonna be message to send state dot messages. Oh no, the syntax is correct. So I'm binding the, I'm retrieving the message as the input value before it's updated, so I can add it to my list, and then I can send it to the WebSocket. So if I say hey, it's right there. And also what I'd like to do is like reverse the order, because I would like to have the most recent at the end. So I guess there is a way to array reverse, no? In list, is there a rev? Yeah, I'm gonna reverse the list before I transform it into array. So let's empty.
Can I get the server back?
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna empty this, and I think we're done. Look at this. I can, so here I have my WebSocket server. Okay, if I write empty messages, I can say, hey server, it appears there, and I receive it here.
Nice.
And I can, hey ReasonML, and I have the answer here.
Nice.
Okay, just one thing before we end up this live stream. I could, I have, this is from the extensions. I guess this is not important. Let's just ignore that. Just before I finish this, I would like to try a lot. As long as you do state.input value instead of self-state value in the callback, it should be the old one. Yeah, that makes sense. As long as I use the state here, that should be the right one. That's why I just bind it to a variable here. It's fine. So what I'd like to do is try to split this into other components, so I don't have just one big file. But this may be a bit tricky. Actually, is this gonna be tricky? Yeah, actually I could just extract the input into its own component, which just to encapsulate the this logic. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that right now. This is not very important, let's say. I think I already learned a lot today. That's the first form I ever done with ReasonML. That was not too hard. It's hard because there are not a lot of examples, not a lot of things like you can copy paste from. Even though I know React already and I know a bit of how functional programming should work, that's a lot of new things at the same time, and I had a lot of syntax errors. Like the syntax errors are very frustrating because you have basically no clue, and you know, most of the time you just type, you just save the file, it reformats everything, and it's kind of magic. So when the magic doesn't happen, this is very frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like by reading the error messages, most of the time it was useful and I could understand how it was working.
In the terminal, like with the real compiler?
No, I mean apart from the syntax errors,
okay.
When I had like type errors or some things that felt weird, like here I was thinking it would be weird to return either an action or nothing because it expects an action. So it felt weird, and the compiler told me, yeah, no, you cannot do that. If you return, either you return nothing, and I would assume this function returns nothing, or you return an action, and I would assume your your function returns an action, but you cannot return. In one branch you return something, in another branch you return something else. It tells you that it's wrong. So yep, I'm quite happy with the result already. I think with this we can already build Camera clients, because I mean all we need to do is when I click start to send a message, and then when I receive the message, display the results. And then there will be a lot of stuff around this, but yeah, styling and everything. But this should be alright. Okay, almost 2 hours of, like an hour and 40 minutes. I think that's alright for middle of the week night. So I'm gonna leave you guys here. Thanks a lot to you guys that helped me. I mean, I didn't look at the chat enough, but if I did, I would like have solved. I would have saved so much time, because I was like struggling on them things. But yeah, thanks for helping. I will probably do another session sometimes on either like handling JSON from the WebSocket, or maybe something totally different, like styling, doing the layouts. But I think this is less interesting than the actual JSON parsing. Anyway, thank you very much for being here, and see you next time.